It's honestly shocking how bad the Philadelphia Eagles have been compared to last year. They started out the season very strong. It looked like they were going to have a good run and maybe repeat from what they did last year. But in reality, the last month, they've been one of the worst teams in the entire NFL. There's many good reasons to why it's come to this point. First is obviously Kevin Patullo. He's like the first main guy to take the blame, but I don't think he's the biggest reason, but of course he deserves some blame. The guy is not a good play caller, and yes, the offense had 5 turnovers over yesterday, so that's not really his fault, but the stats don't lie for the offensive efficiency for the entire year. Last year, when they won the Super Bowl, they were the 8th ranked total offense in the entire NFL and had the second best rushing offense with the second most rushing yards per game. This year, they're 24th in total offense and 22nd in rushing yards per game. Their whole identity is to obviously be a run-first team with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, but when you rank in the bottom half of the league in rushing, that's obviously a coaching problem, as the offense has literally not changed from last year. Yes, Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson have both been in and out, but there's so much talent on that offensive side of the ball that even with Hurts, A.J. Brown, Saquon, and obviously Devontae Smith, they should have enough to really still be competing as an elite offense in the NFL. Obviously, Jalen Hurts played horrible last night, probably the worst game of his entire career. But the reality is his stats aren't that bad. He's been pretty comparable to most players. He only has 3 less passing touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes on the entire season, with over 100 less passing attempts. And even after last night with his 5 turnovers, he's still only tied for the 15th least turnovers in the entire league. The problem is, and people don't really talk about this enough, is that Hurts has had literally a different play caller every single year in his entire career. I don't think people sometimes realize how hard that is to learn a new offensive scheme and then literally the very next year scrap it and learn an entire new offense. Now try doing that 5 straight years, which is literally what Hurts has had to do his entire career. It's funny because A.J. Brown's been great statistically the last month, but they just keep losing. It's also hilarious how he's having good games, and now you don't hear him going on Twitch and complaining or going to the media and saying how he's not getting the ball anymore. I love him and he's a fantastic player, but when you're just constantly talking to the media and publicly about not getting the ball, it's just going to have a negative impact on the team, the relationship with your players, and obviously the culture you're trying to build with your team. Even though the Eagles have been winning in the past years, there's just always been reports out there about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts' relationship and how it isn't great. This literally doesn't happen anywhere else, especially when you're 8-2, so there has to be some truth to these reports. Another reality is that the Eagles defense, even with all that talent on that side of the ball, has been terrible all year. They rank in the bottom half of the league in basically every stat. Total yards per game, rushing, and receiving yards per game. Yes, they lost their promising rookie in Andrew Makuba, but still, they have too much talent. They're better than that. This should not be an excuse for why the defense has been playing so bad. Again, another reason you can definitely go back to the coaching. There's just too much talent on this team to really be playing this bad the last month. So overall, the Eagles are not in a great spot. 8-5 now, and most likely lost that first round playoff bye, but they're still going to make the playoffs here. They got the Raiders next week. They're most likely going to win still 10-11 games, and going to Philadelphia during the winter is an extremely tough playoff atmosphere, especially if you're a dome team or a West Coast team playing in that hot weather. They can definitely make a run here still, again, due to that advantage, but it definitely feels like that 2023 Eagles team all over again.